Hey YouTube, got a couple of things we'll go over today. Um, One being Advil liquid gels. If you don't have any of these, this is going to be a good time to go get some. So we'll prepare for this. This is good stuff right here for at least one thing. I know a lot of people take it for headaches and stuff, but um, I've got another purpose for it. Um, Everybody knows what this is. It's a container to hold your contact lenses. This is what we do with this. I'm gonna flip this camera around a little bit. Hang on, going for a ride. All right. So hope this works. Okay. So the Advil liquid gels. Um, there was a Friday. Okay, long story. I'll try to condense it. One day I was eating a piece of cherry pie, um, and it was like one of those Hostess fruit pies, and it had a cherry pit in the cherry, and I bit down on it. Had a tooth that had a filling in it, and it broke the whole side of the tooth away. Um, Now it didn't hurt. I mean, it hurt when I did it initially, but hi, handsome. You wanted to say hi? Here, say hi to the camera. Here, buddy. Hey, kitty. What are you doing? You saying hi? Okay. I don't know if he was in the frame or not. Um, but anyway, I had taken my Leatherman tool, which has a file on it. I was at work and I filed down my tooth because it was like cutting my cheek. The inside of my cheek was getting chewed up by my tooth. So um, I took my Leatherman tool, took the file, and put it in my mouth and filed down my tooth to where wasn't cutting my cheek anymore. Well, I put things off. You don't think that it's ever going to give you problems, or if you think it does, it's going to, but you don't know when. Well, it does it on a Friday night, always, right? The dentists have all gone home for the weekend. They're out of town, whatever. And about, I don't know, 6:30, 7 o'clock at night, this tooth flares up. Now, this is, mind you, it's probably 6, 8 months later. So it hasn't been giving me any problems, doesn't even hurt. But now all of a sudden it does. And there's nothing you can do about it because everybody's gone out of town. Well, this thing is throbbing, and I can't even tell you how bad it hurts. But your eyes are glazing over. You can't even read anything, and I mean, just hurting. And I'm taking ibuprofen and everything else, but nothing's really touching it. Can't do anything until Monday when you can call the dentist and see if he can fit you in. And so I start watching YouTube videos, and if there's anybody that um, has a good idea what to do until everybody's back up and open, I'd try it. And so there was a thing with like garlic. You can put garlic on it. It's supposed to help with the pain and stuff. And so my wife, she runs to the store to find some garlic and some um, clove oil, stuff like that to try to put on it just to make it through the weekend. Well, I run into a video while she's at the store buying the clove and the garlic on the Advil liquid gel. Now, I don't know if I would scrimp. I think I'd just buy the name brand because that's the only one I've ever tried. Um, and it's not you take it. You don't take it for the pain. You don't you don't swallow it down. This is the trick. This is what I seen on YouTube. A guy said, "Hey, you got a bad toothache? Try this." So this is actually for contact lenses, but I don't wear contact lenses. I wear these stupid readers. But you can see there's like 3 ibuprofen in there, and there's one of these gel tabs or liquid gels. Advil liquid gel, and this side here has got the same thing, right? I mean, I pack it around my pockets. It's just who I am. I wear these sexy pants with the pockets, the cargo pants. So it's like a man purse, my pants are. But anyway, here it is. It looks like a little football. And I just keep them in this. They're watertight. These have gone, actually, my wife's washed my pants and these have been in there. And as long as the lid's screwed on straight and they're not loose, it went through the wash and the drying and everything, and it was fine. Everything was dry inside and everything. So I just put them in there. There's 3 on each side, and one of these liquid gels. I won't go anywhere without this. All right, so this guy says, you take an Advil liquid gel, you take a needle, or a pin or a razor blade or whatever. This is just a safety pin. And he says, you poke a hole in the end of it. Okay. And so what you do, I'm trying to do it so you can see what's going on here. And these are tough to get through, so you need a pretty good sized needle. You're not going to do it with a little tiny, like a super small needle, because you got to have some way to pry on it. As you can see, this is pretty tough. Okay, so that's down in there. That's in the core of that thing. You can see I got a couple other things here. I got a little baggie. I got a couple of toothpicks and a Q-tip. And so anyway, he was saying that you take this and you poke a hole in it and you drip it on the tooth. Well, mine's the upper tooth. So I was like, how the hell are you going to do that? And so what I did is I took a Q-tip, okay, and I just squeeze it with that little hole, and you get some of this little liquid gel on the Q-tip, which, I probably didn't make the hole big enough. I don't want to squeeze. But so anyway, this is the way I did it, okay? So I just put some on, because I'm going up on my upper tooth. And so anyway, I put some on there. It doesn't take a whole lot, but I get around the whole tooth up by the gums a little bit. I don't, go clear up in there or whatever. And then the toothpick, you see, I just stick in there like that, break it off. It's like a little cork, okay, inside that liquid gel. And I got this little Ziploc baggie. I mean, it's just showing you how this works. Okay, so anyway, I don't know if I can get this to focus on that or not. You can see them little air bubbles in there. That's all it takes, okay? I mean, I took a little bit out of that thing, and, it's on the end of this. And anyway, you rub it around on your tooth. When you're done, you put the everything all in that, and you keep it in your pocket, right? Well, while I'm testing this thing out, I put, a few drops on there. I used a little bit more on that first time because I wasn't really sure what it would do. And I rubbed it around on the tooth, and the guy said, take some cotton or whatever and bite down on it a little bit. Don't bite down hard or anything, but just enough to kind of hold it in place. Well, I just bit down on the Q-tip because it still had that on there. And so I'd rubbed it around on the tooth, and I bit down on it. He says, hold it in your mouth for a couple of minutes. Well, I was probably 30 seconds into this, 20, 30 seconds, and I bit down on it, not very hard, but just enough to hold it. And I got it all over that infected tooth. And I'm not kidding you, it was 20 to 30 seconds, maybe a minute. I took that Q-tip out of my mouth, and the pain was gone. I was waiting for it just to come back just with a vengeance and start throbbing. And then I took some water and kind of rinsed out my mouth. I didn't know what to do with it, at that point, but just kind of rinsed off the tooth with some lukewarm water and carried on with my day. And actually it was late that night, and I slept completely through the night. And it was probably 5 o'clock in the morning or so, 4 or 5 in the morning. It came back, and it was thumping, and it was hurting like crazy. And I made my way to the bathroom where I had this stuff, and of course I threw the first one away, and so I poked a hole in another one and everything else. But if you put it back in this bag, you can just keep reusing it. And so I thought, well, I'll just cork it with something. I think I left the needle in it or something at the time, but after the fact, I put a little cork, a toothpick cork in the end, and threw it in the bag and carried it with me with a couple of Q-tips. And every time I used a Q-tip, I just threw it in the trash and did that. But it gave me probably 7 to 8 hours of relief, total relief. I mean, I didn't feel any pain at all from that all day. And then it was like 7 or 8 hours later, wham, the pain came back. Boy, I was reaching for it. And next thing you know, I'm carrying this thing around in my pocket. Well, same thing. I carried me through the weekend. And actually, when I got Monday morning, I was at work and I'd used it. And I felt fine, and I called the dentist and see if he could squeeze me in that day. He couldn't even get me in until like Wednesday. And so I just kept using it. And I'll tell you, I think I went through 2 of these liquid gels in those 4 or 5 days. Just putting a few drops on the end of that, and it carried me through. And it was a lifesaver to me, and that's why I'm telling you this. If you don't have some of these, go get them and keep them in your house or something. If you got to, do this is a great trick for somebody because, even in your purse or whatever, if you got a coat pocket or just a regular pocket, if you got cool pants like, me, I always carry it around with me. And I've ran into a few people that's had toothaches, and they're not fun at all. And you can tell when somebody's in pain. And I always tell them, what's going on? And I tell them this, and I've probably let 12 people know this, and every one of them have tried it, like at work. They said, my head is just exploding from this toothache. And so I'd helped them through it and poked a hole for them, got them going. And every single time we've tried it, it's worked. So I'm not saying it's a cure-all for everybody, but man, when you got a toothache and you're just in huge pain like that and life is just miserable, at least try it, because this could be just what you're looking for. Because man alive, it worked so good for me. I can't even tell you. But yeah, and then I'll go to the dentist and he says, yeah, it needs a root canal and a crown. It's going to cost $2,500. And I was like, how much to pull it? So, had him yank a tooth. But for me, it was a perfect thing for me. I won't go anywhere without it anymore. I've been carrying this thing with some ibuprofen in it. If somebody's just got a regular headache, you got a couple of pills, to give them. I usually take 3 of them at a time. And so I get 3 ibuprofen in each side, and then I just shove one of the Advil liquid gels in there and it holds it. I don't know, maybe the ones you get are a little bit smaller, a little bit bigger, and maybe you can put some more in there. But if they're snug down tight, it keeps all that fluid in there. It also keeps all the fluid out. So if it gets wet, I've been places where I've gotten wet, like in the lake chasing my fishing pole after a fish grabbed it and took it in, and everything was wet and ruined, not my pills. So anyway, keep that in mind too. It's also a good thing to have. Always carry some kind of it's always good to have some kind of a needle or a knife. I have a Leatherman Wave with me always, and I can always, cut the end of one of these little gel tabs open or whatever you have to do. But yeah, I probably went 5 days on 2 of those things. The first one I threw away in the trash and I didn't even use, a quarter of it. But yeah, keep that in mind. Keep it in your backpack, whatever. Go get some of these right now, or remember this and go get them when you need it. And I've got a whole bunch of little videos like this. I'll try to keep them shorter than this one, but this one did have a story behind it. Thought you'd want to know. So anyway, be aware of your surroundings. Remember where you came from. Remember how to get back. See ya.